Nobody likes getting a cold DM on LinkedIn. Everybody's message inbox is full of them and 99% of them get completely ignored. But luckily there's a better way to generate leads and sell on LinkedIn. To stand out from the crowded space of salesy DMs, we need to leverage authority and attention. And most importantly, we need to drastically improve our targeting and our positioning. And the best part is we don't just generate leads, but we do it in a way that bolsters our brand and builds connections. We do it in a genuine and casual way too, so there's no hard selling involved. And we do this by laser focusing our attention and only targeting the people with a high probability of converting. Basically, we find the people who need us. When it comes to LinkedIn lead generation, less is more. Everybody takes the shortcut and they just aim for volume. They treat it as a numbers game and they just end up annoying a lot of people. And they also end up just damaging their brand reputation. In reality, the people who succeed at this do the complete opposite. They go deeper with fewer people, but the right people. And this all starts with perfecting our targeting before we even begin. We need to do some upfront work to narrow our focus, so we can get a better return on our investment of time. So the first thing you need to do is work on your ICP, your ideal customer profile. Now you may have already done this before for your business, but when it comes to LinkedIn, there's a few other considerations you have to look at. When we're doing our targeting, we need to consider the demographics and also the psychographics, which I'm going to get into in a second. But firstly, for the demographics, we want to focus on some external stuff, like what industry they're going to be in. The age is going to be important as well, the age of our ideal customer, the location, the company size that they work at, their position in the company, maybe they're a solopreneur. We want to find out who the decision makers are. And another big consideration is how much money they actually make. And this is why things like location are also important, because if they're from a country where that has a weaker economy, maybe they can't afford the high ticket product you're selling. So beyond that list, which is more of the external stuff, you want to focus on the internal stuff, the things that make them tick. These are things like their values, their desires, their goals, their ambitions, their interests, their lifestyle choices. But most importantly, we're going to need to understand their pain points. When it comes to entering the DMs later on, we want to be offering solutions to the problems that keep them up at night. So you might need to reposition your marketing on LinkedIn also. Now, if you tie these two things together, the demographics and things that make them tick, which are called the psychographics, then you're going to have the perfect ideal customer profile. So when you see this person's profile on LinkedIn, you're going to know this is a person we're going to be adding to our list. Now, we're going to be building up a list of these people. Now, I have a worksheet that I use myself to keep track of all these people, and then I show when I'm turning them to a cold lead or a warm lead by how many engagements I do with them over time. I'm going to post a link to the worksheet I use myself below, and you can download that yourself. It's going to be completely free. Okay, so now we're going to look at 3 quick methods how we can find these leads for free. Okay, so the first thing to do is come onto the search bar in your profile, and we want to search for whatever industry you're working in. So whoever your target marketing is, obviously you've done your ideal customer profile, so now you'll know exactly who you're targeting. So what you want to do is, say you know they're digital marketers, you're selling, say for example, an AI product that helps digital marketers. You come on here and you just search digital marketing. Next, we just hit enter. Okay, now we want to search people. So the first thing we want to do is come over to all filters. Now in here, there's a few things I want to show you. The first is you want to click on second connection. So this just means that anyone who's a mutual connection to someone we're connected to already. So it adds a little bit of social proof when we go to try connect with them. They know we have a mutual contact, so it makes it easier. We're not a complete stranger. Now a few other things we want to do here is the location. As I mentioned, the people who are buying our stuff, if we're selling high ticket, we want to make sure that they have the money to purchase it. So it has to be from a country with a strong economy. So you can select the United States. Now obviously if you're selling locally, it doesn't really matter. So you can, if you're from whatever country you're from, you can obviously just select that country if you're just trying to connect with people from there as well. So another example of things we can do to narrow down a little bit further here. Now obviously we're going to get into another step in a second. I'll show you other ways of doing this, but you can choose, say in our example of someone who's in AI and marketing, you choose technology, information and media. And then we can come down to digital marketing as well under service categories. This means that we're going to find people who are, doing digital marketing as a service themselves, but they're into technology. So they're going to be much more likely to be open to a conversation about using AI in marketing. So here we can just click on show results. Now what we would do in this scenario is just open up a couple of these tabs, and we want to see how many of these people match with our ideal customer profile. And any of them that do, we want to add them to the list to connect with. Okay, so now I'm going to show you another way we can find some potential people to add to our list. So let's just go back to our profile here. And if you want to go back, we go back up to the search bar, and we want to search for either one of our competitors or someone in our space who's just a couple of steps ahead of us. So I'm going to just use a broad example here. Like let's say you're in digital marketing again, and you want to find people who are interested in digital marketing in your area. What you can actually do is you can search, most importantly is that they're active as well on LinkedIn. That's another big consideration. And the way we can do that is by searching the name of this big creator. So I'm going to use Gary Vaynerchuk in this example. So then what we want to do is we want to click on the name of the account of our competitor, and we want to scroll down to their latest post. So we click on posts under here. And then we just want to open up their latest post. Next, what you want to do is come down here and see who liked their post. So if we hover over this, we can see who engaged with it. And we can see this is 7 hours ago. So if we're talking about what these guys are talking about, our competitors talking about, the people who like this post are going to be liking the sort of stuff we're creating as well. So they're good quality leads. So you want to click on that button there. Now, all we need to do once again is go through here and we can see third connections. There's a second connection here. So you want to find some second connections, and we want to open those profiles and see again who matches our ideal customer profile, who are second connections, and we want to add them to our list also. Now, a third method we can use here, if we go back to our homepage again, obviously we can go back up to the search bar here, but I just like to keep things consistent. So let's go up to the search bar up here, and we want to type in, once again, the stuff we're working on, which is going to be digital marketing, our ideal customer profile. So as I said, we're targeting digital marketers in this example. So come back up here, search for digital marketing once more. Okay, so now we're going to mix the two previous steps. So we're on digital marketing and we want to search for people. We want to click on people, sorry. Now we want to go back over to all filters on the right hand side. And in here, we're going to choose second connections once more. And what we want to do, well, while we're here, actually, we'll choose United States because, again, we want to choose people from, in a stronger economy and, wherever we're selling to. So once we have those basics kind of covered, what we want to do is go to find all the followers of our competitors. So here we just need to click followers of and add a creator. So I'll add Gary Vaynerchuk again. And then we just want to click on show results. And now we can see all of the digital marketers in our space who are following one of our competitors. So we know if our competitors say selling a similar product to us, these people are further down that stage of awareness where they know they're kind of interested in this sort of stuff. Some of them may have already purchased from the competitor, but there might be some in there who you can connect with yourself and you can sell to. Now that you have your list of these ideal customers, you want to start going to the worksheet that you have and you want to start opening up the tabs one by one and start making personalized connection requests with each of them. The first thing you want to do, of course, is make sure that they're still active on the platform before you do this. If they're not, just remove them from your list. But all you need to do at this stage is make a quick connection with the ones who match your ideal customer profile. And if you're looking for a template or wondering what's the best thing to say in your connection request, don't be. Because when you use templates, you just sound like everybody else. And this is what we're trying to avoid. Be yourself, say whatever you think makes sense because you're working in the same space, you're interested in the same thing, you're not trying to sell to them here, you're just making a connection request. You only have a limited amount of characters. So just make a really quick introduction, find something on their profile, that maybe you can relate to, and make a personalized connection request. When you do this, almost everybody accepts it. And once we've made the connection, we can move on to the next step. So all of these people who accept our connection request, we want to add them to the list, that worksheet that I mentioned earlier. So we want to add to this list over time, and the objective is to turn our cold leads into warm leads. And we do this in 3 simple steps. The first thing we do is to open up each of these profiles 2 to 3 times a week and like and engage with their content. We want to leave meaningful comments that help show our authority in this field and also to help them out and give different perspectives on whatever they're talking about. We want to show ourselves as a high value individual. The second thing we need to do is create authority posts twice a week. You don't need to be on LinkedIn posting every single day or engaging every single day, but when you do your 2 posts a week, you want to make sure that they're medium length pieces. Also that they're highly actionable and they can be technical as well, because even though they're not going to go viral if say it's about some sort of technical SEO piece, you know the right audience is going to see it. The people you're engaging with on that list, they're more likely to be showing your stuff as well. Because there's a good chance that if you engage with their stuff, they're going to reciprocate and come back and engage with your stuff. So even though you can post something more general and topical, and you might even get more engagement on it, that's not the objective. We want to showcase our knowledge and our expertise. So as I said earlier, it's about authority and attention. Now we have the attention of these people and we want to show them that we're an authority in our space. And we do this by 2 high quality pieces of content every week. And after a few weeks of this, the people who are first on our list are going to be ready and warmed up. So now we can get into the DMs. At this stage, they already know, like, and trust you. They've had a month of engagement back and forth and they know who you are. In the first DM, we're just introducing ourselves. You don't want to be salesy. You want to just make an introduction and outreach. Basically, just make an intro and get into a conversation. Ask a question. Find something on a profile. Be naturally curious and create some sort of engagement. And once you get into the conversation, a few things naturally happen. Eventually, they're going to ask you what you're working on, what you're doing, and you can explain it to them. And if that doesn't happen, what you can do is you can ask them what they're working on. And again, they will most likely reciprocate. They'll ask what you're working on and then you have a perfect chance to tell them what sort of project you're working on. And you can slip in how it might help them in their field as well. It's all very casual. Usually what happens is if you've done your targeting right and they actually need what you're selling, they're going to be curious. And then it's going to be very easy to get to the next step, which is to ask them to jump on a free discovery call. This way they already, as I said, know, like, and trust you. Then you're on a discovery call. And if they do see value in your solution, it's going to be much easier for them to convert. But this only happens if you got your targeting right. And if not, if you don't make sales off this straight away, obviously you can go back in and you can fix this. You can tweak the targeting, you can tweak the people you're attracting and add into your list to make sure they're the right fit for your product. But worst case scenario, you're going to have a connection there that when they do see the value in what you're selling, you'll be top of mind and they'll come to you when they're ready to buy. Now, this is just one part of the broader strategy for LinkedIn. You also need to do things like make sure you optimize your LinkedIn profile for conversions. You need to treat your LinkedIn profile page as a sales funnel in itself, because a lot of these people, when you DM them, the first thing they're going to do is go onto your profile page and check it out. We're all curious, it's a natural instinct. So on this page, we need to have ourselves positioned as an authority in our field, obviously. And this can be done with a few things, like we need to have creator mode turned on with a nice call to action on it as well. We need to have our banner and our bio at one point. And there's a few other tweaks and optimizations that we can do to really help close somebody's sales. So I have another video on how to perfect your LinkedIn profile. So if this is something you need to do yourself, you can go check that out also. Thanks for watching.